An Aussie triumph in France as our boys clinch the Davis Cup. A Sydney woman killed in a spectator stampede in Austria. Inner city burglars head for greener pastures in Sydney's suburbs. Good evening. Also tonight, a big state-of-the-art revamp for Sydney's Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. Australia is once again the proud owner of the Davis Cup, one of the most treasured trophies in world tennis. An intensely focused and unflinching performance by Mark Philippoussis lifted the Aussies to victory over the French, capping off a remarkable year in Australian sport and giving our team and its loyal band of followers good reason to celebrate throughout the night. In the news ahead, Sydney firefighters walk off the job and the international tug of war over a Cuban boy. A brief but noisy stop work by firefighters today in their dispute over pay and benefits. They set their sirens wailing in the city during the 1-hour stoppage. Frustrated by stalled negotiations, they called for the resignation of the fire commissioner and threatened further industrial action. Meanwhile, 3 workers have been badly burned in a grain silo explosion at Rutherford in the Hunter Valley. A fireman was also injured, suffering burns to the hands and face. They were trying to put out a smouldering fire in cottonseed when grain dust ignited, causing the powerful blast. In the wake of recent controversies, Olympics Minister Michael Knight has announced the creation of a management super committee to deal with all planning and problems from now until the Games. Chaired by Mr Knight, it will meet fortnightly, then weekly from June, and will include the chiefs of all Olympic agencies. While our health system has been making the news recently because of budget cutbacks, RPA, one of Australia's oldest and best-known hospitals, is undergoing a massive $250 million upgrade. It's set to become a model for public hospitals across the country, incorporating some of the best medical planning concepts from around the world. The Australian share market is poised to enter record territory tomorrow after ending the day just 12 points behind its highest ever close. The All Ords up 46.5. Optus shares jumped 48 cents on speculation of a deal with Virgin. News Corp rose 88 cents, AMP 67. The Aussie dollar down against the greenback, pound and yen, steady against the euro. Ken Sutcliffe with sport is next, and Mark Philippoussis has his finest moment.
Yes, Jim, he found another level today. In fact, it was Davis Cup redemption for the Scud.
Oh, yes.
And no rest for our latest young golfing sensation. As we reported earlier, our Davis Cup team has completed a wonderful year for Australian sport with victory in the final against France in Nice. Although Leighton Hewitt lost his dead rubber, Mark Philippoussis secured the title when he beat Cedric Pierline in the first of the reverse singles. The Scud saying the game marks the real start of his career. And rugby has lost one of its great characters with the passing of Bob Templeton, the former Australian and Queensland coach. Templeton was in charge of the Wallabies for 29 tests from 1971 until 1981. He died of a heart attack and he was 67. And Jim, he was very much an admired man.
That he was. Thanks, Ken. Alan Wilkie with the weather is next. Then Sydney enjoys the sounds of Christmas.
Monday on A Current Affair, the Great Divide.
It is greed, there's no other word for it.
High-flying salaries for corporate bosses.
That's the market, and that's what you've got to pay.
While ordinary workers miss out.
I think it's pretty disgusting.
Now the cry, enough is enough.
It's outrageous.
I don't think anyone is worth that.
Plus, they said these kids would never make it.
He was an animal.
But their parents refused to give up.
Good boy.
And just look at them now.
1, 2.
It's almost a miracle.
When Nissan presents A Current Affair.
Conditions were cloudy to overcast in Sydney today, but there was no rain. Winds light to occasionally moderate from the east and air quality generally good. And in coastal areas to the south of Sydney, the day was quite cloudy but fine there as well. Winds moderate easterly and the sea smooth on a southeast swell. It's warm and humid in Sydney today. The top temperature is 24 degrees in the city, 25 at Liverpool and 26 at Richmond. And on the central coast, the maximum temperature was 24 degrees, and on the Blue Mountains at Katoomba, 19. Now for the clouds. Not much cloud over New South Wales, no rain. You can see just a little bit of patchy cloud coming through from the west. But cloud here, that's moving through the Great Australian Bight. But once again, that'll move down towards Tasmania and shouldn't affect New South Wales. But there is a trough of low pressure. And as I speak, it is developing here and will develop even more tomorrow. And ahead of that, we'll have a little bit of instability there. So that means scattered afternoon thunderstorms, mainly in the inland part of New South Wales as far as the ranges. Fine in Brisbane tomorrow, top of 27 degrees expected, warming up in Melbourne to 33, a hot one for Adelaide and cloudy conditions, and in Perth fine at 26. Sydney tomorrow, partly cloudy in the morning, sunny through the afternoon and a fine mild evening. Winds, they'll be light to moderate from the east to northeast and the seas mostly smooth on a 1 metre swell. The maximum temperatures 25 degrees near the coast and 28 or 29 degrees Celsius inland. And looking further ahead, fine and warmer on Wednesday and Thursday, the chance of a late storm on Thursday, and a few showers on Friday, and the clearing shower or two on Saturday morning, Jim.
Thanks, Alan. No matter where you turn this time of year, there's no escaping the sweet sounds of Christmas. After months of rehearsals, the DJ's choir is in top voice, serenading shoppers from now until the big day. Not long now. That's the news this Monday night. I'm Jim Waley. From all of us here at National 9 News, good night.